Well, good morning, my beautifully blessed people. I'm saying we're blessed because I'm awake to do this video and you're awake to watch it. So that's the wonderful blessing that we received today. One thing I noticed in these videos is that it looks like I have half a tooth right here. I chipped it opening a bobby pin one day. So I had to have it rebuilt, and it looks like there's about a couple millimeters short of matching this one. So I'm not happy about it. And my wonderful dentist will fix it for me. He takes care of me. I also noticed that I touch my nose a lot. Changing of the seasons has given me a allergy type thing. My face is already moisturized and primed, so I'm going to start. But I was thinking about a new concept that I might do instead of makeup. I was thinking that maybe I'll cook while I do my videos because I love cooking, and but I was thinking how I might be out of the picture range. So this is something I'm thinking about. I might do that because so many people do makeup. It's like kind of overdone. So I'm kind of thinking about that. Today's depression story is going to be about celebrities who suffer from depression. I think I'm going to have a couple episodes about that because there are a lot of celebrities that deal with depression, suicide thoughts, self-harm, and since celebrities are so big, have so much influence, that I'd like to touch on a lot of them because, you know, you have your actors, you have your musicians, you have your sports, your athletes, and I'd like to touch on several different genres so that people have the opportunity to maybe have their favorite person or their favorite person or interest touched to be able to relate to them. So today, I pray that one or more of these people will help you to be able to relate to your particular situation. I hope that you have a wow moment when you hear of people. And I'm going to start today with a big one. A big superstar. Somebody that I bet 99.99 people have heard of. This star has been in the limelight since his college days. This man was a superstar in college in Florida. He played college football in Florida. He got looked over by the NFL. He went and played Canadian football. He got dropped out of that. He went on to a different career, the same career as his father, into the WWF. He found his calling in the WWF. He became a superstar in the WWF. And if you don't know who this man is by now, you've probably been living under a rock. I said a rock. No pun intended there. This man has then become one of Hollywood's biggest stars. He has done many, many movies. He is part of the Fast and the Furious franchise. He has done Disney movies. He is none other than Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Yes, people. Dwayne "The Rock", Jumanji, Fast and the Furious. So many movies. The voice in Moana. Just so many, I can't even begin to start telling you all the movies. Some will pop up in my head, but I don't even need them. I mean, his stardom in the WWF is like enough that you need to know. I mean, if you've even heard of the WWF, WWE. Can't say WWF anymore. We'll make the panda people upset. The WWE. He is one of the faces of the WWE. You cannot know about the WWE without knowing about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So, this man who has one of the biggest smiles in the WWE, who has the people's eyebrow, who is the people's champion, he suffers from depression. How could he suffer from depression when he's got absolutely everything going for him? Everything. Everything he touches turns to gold. Everything. Well, we found out he couldn't sing. Because when he had to sing in Moana, it was absolutely terrible. Sorry, Dwayne, but you can't sing. He thinks he can, but he can't. I think he just recently rapped in something too, and it was horrible. 99.9. Take it, Rock. Just take it. He's gorgeous. He pretty much does his own stunts. He can fall back in the WWE whenever he wants to, or he doesn't have to. He, at 15 years old, saved his mother from a suicide attempt. At 15 years old. Being 15 is hard enough growing up. Especially growing up as a mixed child. This man has black, Samoan, and white in his blood. Yeah. It took a long time for him to realize that he suffered from depression. And he just that, he wished somebody would have long time ago pulled him aside and said, don't be afraid. You're not alone. That somebody would have reached out to him when he was going through all this. He didn't know what was going on. He was afraid that he was getting feelings that nobody else had. And that, he said that men try to keep this hidden. They try to keep it all under wraps. And that's not how it should be. He just wished one person would have pulled him aside. So that's why he doesn't keep it hidden anymore. He is a speaker about it. He encourages people, especially men. And I told you the other day how men live with that stigma of, gotta keep it hidden. And men need to make sure they talk about it. talk about it to their young sons. When you see your young son going through something, you know, let it be known that it's okay. I mean, let them know that The Rock, you know, let them know that The Rock, when he's cooking, is depressed. As The Rock was cooking, he was cooking with depression. So maybe I should have ended with The Rock instead of starting with him, because he's like the mega superstar above everybody. Everybody else is going to seem drab now when I talk about them. But yeah, Dwayne The Rock Johnson suffers from depression. And that's really, I mean, if you don't know Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Google him, and then you won't have to Google anybody else. Because, like I said, if he suffers from depression, then all the rest of us definitely should. Because he's like, if he ran for president, they'd automatically just tell everybody else, just go home. Because it's an automatic win. Truthfully, it would be an automatic win for, he could be a write-in candidate, and I'm telling you, he'd win. Just watch and see. I mean, he's not a cuckoo bird like Kanye. He would win. I'm saying, just be careful. 2024, he might be on that ballot. I wouldn't be surprised at all. So, I am going to talk about other celebrities, and I'm sorry, I should have probably ended with him. But all right, on to the next one. She stepped into the music scene like I don't know what. I don't know where she's from. I don't know much about her life. But she came on like pretty much radical. Most people have heard about her. She made her big statement when she went to an awards show in a dress made out of meat. This really upset the PETA people and the animal rights people. I don't really know how I felt about that. That was kind of a weird type of thing. I mean, no, we don't want animals slaughtered. I mean, especially for something stupid like that. That was, I don't know, that was kind of ridiculous. That was like kind of pushing the limit. And wouldn't that have started to stink after a while? You know, I mean, that's kind of gross. But anyway, Lady Gaga has had depression and anxiety her whole life. Another one you wouldn't be able to tell, or could you? Because of her crazy antics. You know, was she really pushing an agenda to say, hey, I'm weirded out here. Somebody take a look. I'm crying out that, you know, something's not right. Somebody look at me and help me get my act together. You know, I'm trying. I'm trying, but I'm trying in all the wrong ways. But at the same time, she is very pro-medication. She is not ashamed to say that she's medicated at all. Like I said, she really feels that sharing the stories of depression should be shared. She publicly shares her stories, and she feels that, you know, strengthen numbers, definitely strengthen numbers, and that we as a society of people with mental illness should really band together and be very free and find the freeing aspect of sharing our stories. You know, like we have these fundraisers and you know, like there's breast cancer races and walks and celebratory different things for breast cancer awareness and all that. I mean, October is Mental Health Month, but where's the camaraderie and things like that to fund awareness for mental health? Where is, all of that? I don't see much of that. So she suffers every single day from depression and anxiety, and I commend her for being able to go out and do the things she does for mental health. Katy Perry, very popular pop star. She opens up about her depression so people can see that they can still fulfill their dreams. She has suffered from depression a long time, and she's living her life very, very happily. She's found the right medication. She's married to Orlando Bloom. Who is gorgeous, and she has a child with him. They're very happy. She found her right cocktail of drugs, and she's doing fabulous. Also a depressed person. Michael Phelps, 28 Olympic medals, depressed. He had his first depression spell in 2004. 2012, he got 28 medals in swimming. He stayed in his bedroom for 3 to 5 days, not wanting to be alive. For a week, he didn't want to be alive after getting 28 medals at the Olympics. I don't know if you knew this, but he got caught. He flunked a drug test, getting caught for smoking marijuana. So he was ridiculed. He got shamed for smoking marijuana. They wanted to take his medals away. All this stuff. He was at a very low point. He knew he needed help for his depression after being in his bedroom for 3 to 5 days. So he went and he got treatment. He started talking about his feelings. He said it was okay not to be okay. He started his depression, his lowest point, like I said, came after the medals. My question is, did his lowest point come after he had to stop smoking marijuana? That's a question I wonder. Was he relieved by smoking marijuana? And then when he had to quit, did it then kick in? I don't know. But I'd bet my bottom dollar that after quitting marijuana, I'm just saying. So, if anyone has a little person under the age of 10, you've probably heard of the movie Frozen. Okay? I know about every line in the movie Frozen because I had a granddaughter. We watched Frozen and Frozen 2 937 million times. So I know the character Anna. Well, guess what? Anna suffers from depression. Anna was voiced by Kristen Bell. And Kristen Bell, who's married to Dax Shepard, has depression. Okay? She says, and I quote, "There's nothing weak about struggling with mental illness." She doesn't even call it depression. She calls it a mental illness, which is what it is. But when you say mental illness, that sounds creepy. That sounds like the person that's going to take you in an alley, choke you, stab you, rape you after you're dead, and chop you up into little pieces, put you down a garbage disposal. Mentally ill people do that, and then they end up in a insane asylum, taking all kinds of drugs, ends up having tardive dyskinesia, and then dies in a straitjacket in 4-point restraints. That's what mentally ill people do, okay? But no, That's not what we do. So she went public about this to shed more light on it and to ease the stigma on it. So kudos to you, Kristen Bell. Keep up the good work. Demi Lovato. Demi Lovato now lives by they, them. I guess that's called non-binary. I don't know. But she came out public for suffering from depression. Well, actually, it was discovered when she went into treatment for anorexia, bulimia, and self-harm. She was a cutter, and they diagnosed her with bipolar disorder. She got treatment, and now she's going through therapy and medication. So good for her that they were able to narrow down her diagnosis, and now it's therapy and treatment. Cheryl Crow, she's mainly for the old timers here. 6 months she lived with not getting dressed and not leaving her house. She says that antidepressants and therapy worked a little bit for her, but at the same time, she wants people to be aware that mental illness, and I love this, mental illness is a chemical thing in your brain, okay? And that it's always changing, okay? And you're going to continue going through this your whole life. So you're not going to find the cure-all and just stay. You're not going to find ABC medication and be like, okay, at 30 years old, I'm taking this, this, and this. And then at 57, I'm still taking this, this, and I'm going to be the same. No, it doesn't work like that. You're going to take ABC, and then 15 years later, that may not necessarily be the same. You may be able to take all this and it still work, but you might have to tweak this, remove this, add this. You have to stay in contact with your doctors, okay? I'm just saying, keep communication open at all times. All right, now I'm gonna end this with, I hate to say sadness, because it's not. It's a sad thing that happened, but his death is going to be very encouraging. This man was considered one of the funniest, a pioneer in the comedic world. This man died August in 2014 at the age of 63 by suicide. And he is none other than Robin Williams. If you're old enough, he was Mork from Ork. He was Mrs. Doubtfire. He was the original Jumanji guy. He was a stand-up comedian. He's done so many things that impacted so many people. I have so many quotes from him. And I wrote down some of his most important quotes that I think really showed his, showed some of his calling for help. Maybe not calling for help, but some are calling for help, but some of them are giving insight to people to reach out. Okay? Here's one. I think the saddest people always try their hardest to make people happy because they know what it's like to feel absolutely worthless, and they don't want anyone else to feel like that. I can relate to that 100%. You know, it's like when I see people like alone walking, you know, looking down in the face, that really makes me want to say hi to somebody, because I know how important it is if I'm by myself, for somebody to say hi to me. Like, I want to be recognized. You know, not recognized in the sense of, hey, that's Connie Mendoza. No, just like, see me. You know, notice that I'm by myself. I mean, I know that there's times where I see somebody eating by myself, eating by themselves, where I'm like, God, give me the courage to be able to be like, is anybody joining you? You know, I haven't been given that opportunity yet, but I'm determined to be that person, to be like, you know, can I join you for dinner? You know, but in this world, you know, you don't know what wackadoodle you might run into. But I really, you know, I want to do that someday. And I would love to have the funds to be able to go like, let me pay for your dinner. You know, but that is so important, because they don't want anyone else to feel like that. You know, you don't ever want somebody to feel the emptiness that you feel. So you create this feeling for these people, this feeling of you are not alone. You know, I'm going to make you laugh. I'm going to tell you you're beautiful. I'm going to tell you, great job with your kid, because that was really that kid was acting like a brat. You know, even a child. If a child's being ignored by their parent, or, you know, the child looks like, I'm going to make that kid laugh. You know, I'm going to stick my tongue out at that kid. I'm going to make a goofy face at that kid. Just so the child knows it's loved. You know, you don't know the situation. Maybe the child knows it's loved and it's acting like a little jerk. But, you know, just do something to love it up. Everyone you meet, and this is one that's used a lot, but everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Be kind always. You never know. You know, you never know. It could be an abused wife. It could be an abused husband. It could be a neglected teenager. You know, you just don't know. You know, I mean, just listen, you know, watch the signs. You know, you don't know. I mean, be aware of your surroundings that you see. I mean, this is kind of a little off, but with the sex trafficking and all that kind of stuff that's going on, be aware. I mean, I was in Harrisburg. I literally found a kid that was lost at a festival in Harrisburg. And the kid's parents got to the cops. I mean, this child was like 2 blocks away from his parents. And thank God I found him. I was in Walmart the other week. There was a little girl. She was by herself. She was on the phone. And I was like, where are your parents? She was awesome. She wouldn't give me her phone. She wouldn't tell me her name. She kept saying her grandmother was near. And I stood with her for like 15 minutes. Her grandmother never came. And then when the grandmother finally got there, the grandmother was very thankful for what I did. But the girl was top notch. She was, you know, she wouldn't go anywhere with me. She wouldn't give me the phone, you know, but the grandmother highly thanked me, you know, for doing what I did. So it was really awesome. The whole transaction, the whole whatever was really great. But just love people. That's what you got to do. You got to love people. You never know what they're going through. Don't judge people, you know, because you never know. And, okay, so he was acting, making the movie. It was the 3rd installment of The Night of the Museum. His makeup artist said he would cry every night as she was taking off his makeup, and she didn't know what to do. You know, she actually Googled how to care for somebody that was having panic attacks. She had no idea. And everybody was saying, oh, he's depressed. They didn't know what to do. You know, in his past, he had a drug and alcohol addiction really bad. And they thought maybe he was doing that again. And 2013, a year before his death, he started like really slowing down. His gait was, slowing down. And this was a very active actor, if you knew him at all. I mean, he was very physical in his approach and everything. He, so everybody was saying that he was having, dementia, everything started slowing down. Then he got diagnosed with Parkinson's disease, a disease that makes you shake really bad and everything. And then his wife went to bed one night. He went to bed in his room one night. In the morning, everybody's like, he didn't wake up. And his wife was happy because he had had insomnia for so long. She was happy that he was getting some extra sleep. Well, his assistant was worried when he didn't wake up. And she went to check on him, and he had hung himself with a belt. And, everybody went crazy. And they did an autopsy and found that he had diffuse Lewy body dementia. So he did have a disease, a brain disease, but he also had significant amount of depression. And I'm just telling you this because one of the most funny, happy person that made the world laugh suffered from one of the strongest bouts of depression that the world has seen. I mean, the funniest man for decades and decades suffered from depression. And like I've said in every one of these videos, you never know who is dealing with this disease. It's not the guy in the corner just staring at the crowd. It's that person making you laugh, who's making themselves look dumb, taking the brunt of the jokes on themselves to look funny. It's a tough place to be. It's a disease that isn't taken as seriously as it should be. There's not as much research done on that as there is most diseases. And I just want to spread the word a lot more, get it more mainstream, get it more talked about in my little town. And I would love to have discussions about this with other people. I'm going to try to do a couple live discussions. I'm not a expert on this at all. I can be stumped. I can be confused. I don't, know everything. I live with it, so I can talk about it with a lot of people. But in saying that, I hope that the Lord brings you peace in your own particular situation. I pray that you turn to Him with this, and be thankful for all the blessings that He bestows on you. I'm thankful for all that He's given me. Roof over my head, food in my body, great children, great family, and just everything. I'm thankful for everything. I'm thankful to still be alive. So with that being said, I want to thank you and tell all of you that I love you, and I will see you again tomorrow. Drop questions in the comments or DM me. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace.